A new album, Queen of Me, concert tour going on. How are you doing these days?
I'm having the time of my life. I say that during the show, you know, share with everyone how just happy I am to be here, to be on the stage, to be back with them in their hometowns. I'm just having a lot of fun. I'm enjoying the music. I'm enjoying mixing the new music with the classics. And I'm just enjoying so many elements of this show, the production, everything. I'm gonna get you out, I got you inside. I'm gonna get you if it takes all night.
One of the things I'm really getting a sense of now through the Netflix documentary, but also some of the interviews that I've been listening to, is you are not just reflective, but really candid, really open about the path you took to where you are now. What I didn't know until recently is the tough parts of growing up. You know, the relationship with your dad, and being on stage at bars when you were a kid, and I just want, like, how did those things shape you?
It's funny, you know, when you're a kid, most things around you up to a certain age are your norm, and so you feel like that is the norm. But from about 8 years old, I really started to recognize that, okay, none of my other friends at school are in the bar singing in front of, you know, drunk people at midnight, 1, 2 in the morning. And I started to feel like I was living two lives already from very early on. Okay, so the irony of that sort of almost a dysfunctional decision making on my parents' part, in a way, exposing me to things that were probably inappropriate, I can say now, is that all of that was also going on within the house. A lot of violence. We were hungry a lot of the time. So I turned to music for my escape. And I would go off into the bush and I would write songs and I would spend hours and hours and hours just creating another reality through music, through creativity. So it ended up being, I guess you could say, a silver lining, having a difficult childhood.
So it made you tougher, but of course at the core of it is the incredible talents you had. Talents as a musician, talent as a performer, drive you clearly had. You show up in Nashville, you and like 10,000 other young people who want to be stars, and obviously there was something different about you. I guess, I mean, you tell me, what, you had a clear sense of what you wanted?
Even though I succeeded very late. So I was 30 when I had my first radio hit.
Wow.
But I was the kid that had the parents that were saying, get on that stage, in that bar.
Yeah, and I guess the point of that, I should say, you know, they weren't taking you to a bar at midnight to sing out of any kind of neglect. It was the opposite of that. They were giving you a stage to sing on.
To them, this was my development opportunity. Now, if they had been different, I may have only developed my talent, first of all, less intensely, and much later. So by the time I got to Nashville, I was already I was quite seasoned already as a songwriter, as a live performer. My whole concept of how I saw myself was pretty clear already.
Yeah.
It's not like I got to Nashville and I needed to be developed. I needed to be supported with what I had already spent all of my life from childhood developing.
Whose bed have your boots been under? And whose heart did you see, I wonder?
Now, the other thing is, and this happens with a lot of people in a lot of different careers, sometimes, you know, luck and good moments have to come together. And so, you know, the rise of videos, a medium that you embraced and did so well, your connection to Mutt Lange, your producer who you got married to, and you guys made fantastic records together. All of that came together, and you became, you know, a huge star.
I had a very, very small support system, but it was a strong one. So Mutt believed in me. By the time I met Mutt, my arsenal was like ready and jammed, and all I needed was someone to believe in me, to believe in my writing, to believe in my style. Mutt came on board, and then that was it. All I needed was that. And then the head of the record label believed in Mutt. Nobody else really believed in it. It was too different. I was too different. My attitude was definitely not the typical country music artist. And then the visual side of it was, oh, my ideas were way out of the box.
That don't impress me much.
Your partnership, your marriage to Mutt Lange ended. It was also a musical partnership.
Yeah.
And you know, this is something a lot of people have gone through in lots of different ways. What impact did it have on you?
Well, it was a global impact because obviously it was a marriage and it was a very isolated music collaboration because it was really just the two of us. There was no other influx of creatives involved. So I still wanted to make music. Well, first my voice went with the Lyme's disease. When I finally managed to get that back, I wanted to sing again. I wanted to record again. But where to start? I hadn't collaborated with anyone else. So I was really starting from scratch, and I had to have a lot of faith in my own independent, creative self.
Your flamboyance, the things you wear on stage, your style, has created a lot of fans, including in the gay community. I've heard from some people who said you're kind of an icon to them. And just the other day when you were in Moncton, you Instagrammed a picture of yourself on a crosswalk with the rainbow colors.
Yeah.
A very simple gesture, and you just said, Happy Pride Month. Then I looked through the comments, and there were a lot of supportive comments, but there were a lot of just negative, corrosive comments.
Well, I'm very openly an all-inclusive person. And I would never shy away from that in my nature for anything. And that means all-inclusive. And I'm comfortable in my own belief in that. And I love all of my fans, and they come from every walk of life. I mean, it's a huge part of my success, the fact that I'm global. You can't be global unless you have fans from multiple nationalities, multiple belief systems, multiple demographics and cultures. So to exclude one for the sake of not being criticized would never enter my mind.
So let me finish with this. At the beginning of the documentary, you're driving in a sports car, and we hear this, this narrative from you.
Taking the risks to do things your way can be scary. You gotta be brave.
Are you ready?
What does courage mean for you? In what ways do you still feel you need to be courageous?
Every day takes courage. There's not an element of, you know, being a mother takes courage, being a wife takes courage, being a professional takes courage, being a, you know, having this huge responsibility of getting on stage every night. You know, it's a big responsibility. There's so much discipline. It's like being an athlete. I guess the courage, though, comes from not letting the fear get in my way.
Yeah.
Just to stand up and say, this is just me, and being true to myself, knowing that you will be criticized for that. That's being fearless. And that's happiness, too, I think.
And you're all that and more. Thank you very much for speaking with us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me again.
Excellent.
I felt great about that.
Yep. Yeah, we'll use it.